Hello, my name is Fraser Simons. This is my channel, Springboard Thought. Today I'm breaking down my 2021 stuff for the people that would like to know. This is using the Storygraph pretty exclusively. I tried using Goodreads and it was fairly pointless compared to this stuff. It seems to be missing one book, probably something self-published or something like that. But otherwise, it seems like it has got most of my Goodreads data. I mostly joined about a week or two ago, something like that, and it seems like it imported my information pretty well. So I'm impressed so far, and now you can, I guess, friend people or follow them on Storygraph. So if you'd like to do that, I have that in my link tree now. I read 582 books, so 583 according to Goodreads, and that is 156,820 pages. That doesn't seem like it would be very accurate anyway, just because I read a lot of audiobooks which don't count pages anyway, or if they do, it's usually just the chapters in the audiobook, so I don't think that's a stat that really matters at all. Oh, that's cool. It has like a mood thing, and the highest thing is reflective, adventurous, emotional, dark, mysterious, and challenging. I think that makes sense for the things that I gravitate towards. Then we have funny, informative, tense, lighthearted, sad, hopeful, inspiring, and lastly, relaxing. It makes sense that that's the smallest thing. You can't even see it on the graph. It's like a tiny little blip. But it still rates, I guess. Next is pace. It looks like the highest pace book is 46% medium, fast pace is 25% of the books, and slow pace is 29%, which again makes sense. I don't read a lot of smaller books, but would like to change that. For the page number, you'd think they'd have smaller increments, but the highest rated is greater than 300 pages, then 300 to 499, which is a weird increment to have when you have just greater than 300, is 41%, and then 500 pages and above is only 11%. So that's a little strange for me. Usually I read chunkier books as far as I'm aware, but I don't know. Then this graph makes perfect sense to me. Fiction, nonfiction. Fiction is 85%, nonfiction 15%. That sounds right to me. Whew. And then there's a graph of genres, which is a lot. The highest of which is fantasy, literary, science fiction, contemporary, historical, young adult, mystery, thriller, LGBTQIA+, classics, short stories, romance, memoir, and graphic novel. That again makes sense. It's odd that the next increment is science. I wonder what books were classified like that. And then crime, which I would think would be higher. And then the format, which I read, 4% digital, 19% audio, print 77%, makes sense to me as well. Most read authors is Leigh Bardugo, David Mitchell, Terry Pratchett, Katharina Vermette, Brandon Sanderson, Ket Shuhiro Otomo, Sarah J. Maas, Martha Wells, Isaac Asimov, and Alice Hoffman, which just shows to show how less often I pick up a book, even though I like an author, unless I'm kind of got a set of their stuff and I want to make my way completely through it. For instance, Asimov was the prelude to Foundation, and then some other ones before I just finally gave up because they were so dry and the idea's good, the actual vehicle bad. Alice Hoffman, I was waking my way through the Rules of Magic after reading that book and then wanting to read all the other ones around it before the new one came out, and then I read the new one. Leigh Bardugo, I have on digital all of those Shadow and Bone books that I read before the show came out, and then I reread Six of Crows and the Crooked Kingdom on audio after, which is really great on Audible because it has a full cast. And then David Mitchell, I had that project that I did, a playlist where I read all of his books and then kind of went into the granular details of his metafiction and tried to see how they all connected and all that kind of stuff. Katharina Vermette, probably because of those comics that I read. Brandon Sanderson, because I got the Mistborn books, and then I read the first two Way of Kings just to make sure he wasn't for me, and he definitely isn't. The best stuff that I've read from him is that Skyward YA book, and the sequel I can't remember, which I liked and kind of mesh with his style. He is good at doing commercial fiction, YA diction. And then Otomo doesn't ring a bell whatsoever, but I've read 6 books. I don't know, I'll have to check that out. My average star rating is 3.52, and that's it. So challenge-wise, I definitely hit my goals. I believe I set my initial goal to 400, and then I moved it up to 500, and then I beat that, of course. This year I'm doing another goal of 400. I think I could stand to read less, actually, if anything, and be more intentional about my selections so that I could be reading more at a higher average, I guess, of star rating stuff. I kind of did a shotgun approach for the last year or two, and I think I kind of more or less know what I'm interested in, what I want to read more of, and get to those. And I also just have bigger books that I want to get to this year and will necessarily take up more time. And that's it. I think the rest I'll cover in a tag, and otherwise I will see you next video. Bye.